Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. Welcome to the World of Football podcast. 20 minutes earlier than usual because there's only one thing that's coming up. It is the FA Cup draw. And this is where the Championship teams and the Premier League teams all come into play. So everyone will be dreaming of a very good tie. Mr. Nathan Morgan. Joining me as usual, we have the usual panelists. Mr. Nathan Morgan, how are you, sir?
I am doing very well, thank you, Doug. I'm just praying that we actually have a decent tie in the FA Cup for once. I mean, we always go out in the third round anyway, but we've had some shocking fixtures in the past, mainly Championship sides. So, touch wood, we'll get something different today, but thanks for having me on as usual.
Absolute pleasure. I think this man is smiling, beaming. You could probably tell that he's probably been dreaming of having someone other than Ollie at the wheel. It's Mr. George Kyle. How are you, George?
Very good, Doug. Yep, good to have you back, and thank you very much for having me on as always, and really looking forward to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, as you can see, he is currently waiting on a train back home. It is Mr. Reese Russell. How are you, Reese?
Hello, petty criminals. Yeah, I'm good, actually. I'm good. And my train's literally just in front of me, so it's time to go Tour de Tron and travel back to Shithole.
Well, take your time, and we'll see you. We'll see you very soon.
Oh,
right.
I'm staying here, don't worry.
Right, so because obviously it's the FA Cup draw, these are some notable numbers to look out for. So obviously number 2 is Arsenal, 12 Cardiff City, 13 Chelsea, 22 Leicester, 23 Liverpool, 25 Man City, 26 Man United, 40 Tottenham, 43 West Ham. The win, obviously Boreham Woods at Auburn City, that's the tie tonight, and Harrogate Town, which I put in as well. Reese.
Yes, sir.
Who would you like?
Southampton or Millwall?
Ooh, any reason?
Master versus disciple, and I hate Millwall.
That's fair enough. George, I know you were.
And it'd also be good to remind them that we beat them in the cup final in 2004, and then we can beat them again in another cup round. So yeah.
George, I know you're up there in Ipswich. Would that be a tie for Man United away to Portman Road? Oh, he's muted.
George, you're on mute, dude.
Yeah, I think ultimately any team really, apart from one of the big three, so to speak. I think I'd fancy us now. We've got Ralph in charge. I'd fancy us to beat any team apart from those three, or at least, as I said, with those three, I think it'd be slightly more difficult challenges, and we want to kind of wait, I think, until at least February time, so that Ralph's got enough time to embed some stuff before we face anyone of decency, in my view. So yeah, anyone apart from Liverpool, Chelsea, or Man City for me.
Yeah, and Nathan, obviously, I know you want a big trip away. Funnily enough, actually, we were obviously speaking in the group chat, and you actually fancy going to Anfield.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. And with some of the absolute dribble we've seen recently, that would actually be a good day out and encouraging for fans to actually go and watch our games. And yeah, we'd easily take 5,000 up there, I imagine. But in terms of who I want for the draw, and I see Mr. Abraham de Guzman so desperate to see who I want. Right, this is all I'll say because of some of the dribble we've had in the past. I don't want any Championship teams. I'll be happy with literally any away day at all, providing that it's south of Manchester. That's all I wish for. Literally.
Okay. That's interesting. Just saying hello to a few people. Hello, Hella. Hope you're doing well. And hello to Abram de Guzzi. Hope you're doing well. I'm also live as well, but hello. Yep, hello. Nice to see you. Hello to Diego. Hello to Liz Golden. Hella saying hello to Eve9. And I want West Ham to get Millwall away, says Kian. Yeah, they hate each other.
He's been watching. He's been watching too much Green Street.
Yeah, I would definitely say. What? Southampton are completely signing Willie Caballero on a short-term deal? Really?
Madness, that.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true, yeah. They've got injury concerns for goalkeepers. I think that's a smart move. It's an experienced goalkeeper, short-term deal, and it's at least somebody who can just come in for a couple of games. It's not going to do any credit. Short-term deal, so 6 months. That's
6
actually
months.
smart. Yeah, I think that's smart. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah. Here's one of our guests on the train. Go to the FA Cup draw to make the draw. I bet Reece Woods wishes he would go to make the draw, but
I would
no.
go. I would go to the draw just to make sure Man City draw Liverpool.
I do like that. Who would I want? A home draw would be lovely.
I think you want an away draw personally. I think Liverpool need a proper away tie because they've not had a proper away knockout tie in a while.
No, we haven't. We have not as well. If nothing else, Caballero's a solid keeper. Yeah, Caballero is a good keeper. 40 years of age. I think he will do a good enough job anyway. Obviously, a short-term deal because I think Alex McCarthy and the other name remind me who's the other Southampton keeper.
It's not Angus Gunn, isn't it? Because he's gone, isn't he?
He's gone. He's away at Norwich. Yeah.
It's not Forster either because Hasenhuttl never gives him a game. It's some other useless cretin.
McCarthy.
That's the one.
Yeah. The number one rule about the FA Cup is never drawn against a team in the same league as you, but it also luck of the draw. Just ask Manchester City. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. A shame Southampton didn't want Adrian on the Premier League loan emergency deal. Adrian's injured. Have you not noticed, Bal? He hasn't travelled to Milan, which is very interesting.
And also,
we'll get Aston Villa at home.
That'll be written in the stars.
And also, Hasenhutl's got a brain. Hasenhuttl would have a blind man over Adrian.
Yeah, definitely. Hello to Bluebird Legend.
He would have a blind man over Adrian.
Hello to Bluebird Legend. I hope you enjoy the voucher that me and Rebecca gave you for your 50th. Hope you enjoy that. Actually, that's for you and Nathan anyway. So enjoy that. Kane Dolan saying Fraser Forster is actually still contracted to Southampton though, and Ballum says Manchester United will get Salford are out. Ballum. Salford are out to Chesterfield, so I think you mean Chesterfield or AFC Wimbledon away.
I'd like Wimbledon away.
Club. I wish Ballum. And Abraham Deguzi says,
I want a
Swans
tie,
get a team from the Premier League. A proper tie. And it will be used soon. Well, there you go. Just very, very quickly, because obviously I know we're waiting for the FA Cup draw. Nathan, Sheffield United beat you guys 3-2 at the weekend. What were your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a really good start to the game, especially getting that early goal on by Sparky Harris. Really good to see the youngsters coming through and Steve Morrison using them. But the thing that we just look so vulnerable in defence, there's no pace there at all. I think I counted about 5 times in the first half where the defence just got completely beat by the likes of McGoldrick, Billy Sharp, just overwhelmed by it, which we should have really hunkered down. And then in the second half, all got exposed after Morrison got that stupid red card. And it just went massively downhill from there, really. Could have been 5, I think, but get us to January. That's all I can say.
I think it's safe to say George has a bit of choice words when it comes to that red card.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe the stupidity of that. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, obviously because I keep on watching obviously Nathan's vlogs and stuff, and what I always tend to do is I watch the matches, or at least the highlights, I should say, before I do so, just to so I know roughly what's going to happen, because it always makes it's always extremely funny to see what's going to happen. And yeah, I just couldn't believe it again. Just total lunacy and gross stupidity. And ultimately, there was obviously Nathan sort of alluded to it, and obviously he'll know far better than me. But in the sort of highlights that I saw, there was kind of a bit of a caveat though, because although the defence is terrible, obviously some of the goals that they conceded were really poor. What I would say is that it doesn't help when you go down to 10 men and then you're having to that's got to be that's such a big caveat to it all. And again, it's just absolute craziness. But I think Sheffield United got quite lucky as well on some of those goals. I can't remember which goal it was, where I think it was the third one, where it was almost like fate, as about 3 it's about three of your players, Nathan, just literally threw themselves across, and the ball went the other side. It just dribbled slowly in the other side. It was just absolutely. It was just horrific, really.
Typical Cardiff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's almost like a series of unfortunate events, isn't it? I mean, I think you sort of said like 8 out of 9 losses now in a row or something at home, which is just that's atrocious, isn't it? But what I would say just very quickly, obviously, because I know that time is of the essence, and I think they're sort of moving towards the draw. What I would say is that I have looked at the table, and obviously I think I agree with your dad, Nathan, in the fact that you should be fine in terms of the relegate. Because I was thinking, I was looking at the table and I was like, well, that's almost relegation form. But I think you've got about a 6-point cushion, I think, between you guys and the relegation zone. So you should still be fine, and there's plenty of time to sort of turn it around. And obviously you've benefited massively, as I think every club has, from the fact that Derby have had all those point deductions.
And
sitting on,
which is another one. But yeah, it's going to be a long slog till the end of the season now for us, 100%. Morrison has massively got his work cut out. Got to get that transfer window through if we're going to get any money, because we're skint. And not only that as well, if we just cannot lose to Swansea in April, otherwise that'll be the darkest season in the club's history.
Sending off change the game, says Bluebird Legend. Absolutely. Who should Cardiff get? Newport, Swansea. Somebody was sent off. We just spoke about that. To be honest, I'd take anyone other than feckin' Everton again. That is true Irishman Kian speaking there weekend. No, please no. Hello to Jazari. Thank you for tuning in. Swim away Cardiff.
Where do you get more wins? Come back to me.
Cardiff should swim to Southampton. Millwall, West Ham could happen. Swansea, Cardiff, Wolves and Birmingham. I don't think that'll happen. Very, very unlikely. Only 4 non-league teams remaining in the FA Cup third round. Yes, I do believe that as well.
And they're all getting eliminated.
the joys. Cardiff. Away form is very good. Yes, I would agree with that. Could a Chelsea home to Arsenal happen, for example? Derby, yep. Could easily happen. Evening, lads. Reese's signal is better than Nippun's when he's travelling. I absolutely.
That's what happens when you've got a real phone. That's what happens when you have proper network.
Oh, here we go. The draw's happening after the break, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got
Paul. Shut up.
The Swans fans don't know the real story of the swim away. Probably most weren't even born then. Didn't Morgan Gibbs White do something like that at the weekend?
Yeah, the funny thing was he did it to the family stand and had his back to the canton. Just, if you're going to do it properly. Like, it's just embarrassing. And I mean, if you've seen it, George, all the abuse that Ollie McBurney got in that game as well. But, it's just... It's just funny, isn't it?
Dave, hello to Dave's LFC chats. No, it's not Michael Jackson bottom right. It's Mr. Reese Russell. I
was going to say, like, Michael Jackson might be in the grave, but I'm the real entertainer.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, the draw is about to. It's just coming up after the break. I've got the Emirates FA Cup YouTube channel on my iPad. So yeah, look, I think it's a very, very interesting draw, especially because I think everyone dreams of a very, very good tie. Obviously, Boreham Wood and St Albans City. That's obviously the game tonight. I mean, I don't know too much about those two teams, Nathan, but it does sound like a very, very interesting game.
It absolutely does. Both non-league teams. Boreham Wood have had a massive rise over the years. I believe they were in about step 7 or 8 a few years ago, even below #United, where they are now. And they've had a really good rise up the leagues, building their ground and everything, good ownership. Sort of the same with St Albans City with, I don't know that either, Jessica, honestly. But I don't know how they got drawn against each other, to be honest. We could have seen a giant killing from either of the teams, but it'll be interesting to see who they get in the third round. I'd take both of them, but I hope they get a big club, both of them. They deserve it.
Chris Welsh, I have just got my breath back from watching that this afternoon. OMG. What a race. That was drama
Yeah.
right up until that final lap. Absolutely amazing. And we've got a very, very interesting final race
Watch
on
Hamilton.
Sunday.
Watch Hamilton win it now. Watch Hamilton win it now.
Yeah. All these draws could be done in anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes,
The
depending on
annoying
the
thing
size
is,
of the
I want
cup
Mercedes
rubbish.
to win the Constructors' Championship. I want Hamilton to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello to Taryn.
The annoying thing is, right?
Both teams.
The annoying thing is, I want.
Mm.
The annoying thing is, I want Mercedes to win the
Sebastian.
Constructors' Championship. I want Hamilton to bottle it.
Sebastian, dearie me.
shocking.
That's a terrible one. I hope they're not bored for wood. Oh dear. The draw is 2 minutes away, folks. The draw is 2 minutes away. How long is the draw for? It probably take between 10, 15 minutes as well.
That's worse than
Hello
yours.
to Helen Raybold. Hello to Helen Raybold. Hope you're doing very, very well. Guys, obviously, if you are obviously watching, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Share the stream with friends as well. And also hit that subscribe button as well. Hey, all knew West Ham would win. Lord Origi. Yes, yeah, we will come on to that. Always good seeing Lewis versus Max fans. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hello, Helen. Also, Jessica Quayle. Why is Josh not here? I was hoping for a rant. I don't know where Mr. Bell is. I think he is coming. I think he's probably eating. He did say he was going to eat and then probably come on as well. But thank you very much for tuning in, Jessica. I know that you've tuned in a couple of times recently, so really I do appreciate it. Yeah, we do every other week as well. That is very true. Time for the draw in a few minutes and all. Let's see what happens. Yes, please not Everton again. You just watch. You just watch, right? This. I better turn that down. You just watch. We're going to get Everton again. You just watch. I hope not. But we'll see. But just as obviously people are obviously tuning in a little bit late, there are some of the notable numbers going across the bottom of your screen. So Liverpool are ball 23, Manchester United are ball 26, Cardiff City are ball number 13, Tottenham are 43, West Ham United are 58, the winners of Boreham Wood and St Albans City are 58, and 64 is Harrogate Town. So very, very interesting, to say the very, very least. Time for the draw in a few minutes and all. Let's see what happens. Yep, absolutely. Helen loves the jumper. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. City Chelsea could we get very easy draws. You
Always
never
do.
know. You never know. Yeah, they do. We'll get Everton. United will get a reasonably tough Premier League game, and City will get Forest Green at home.
I think we're going to get West Ham. I think that's my bet because we tend to
West Ham.
We tend to get West Ham in cup draws no matter what. So I think it's going to be West Ham. That's my bet.
I see
We get them. We beat them.
I see Verstappen and Hamilton colliding again in Abu Dhabi. Something's clearly going to happen. It's the title race for you.
Oh, it's written in the
Yeah,
stars.
we've not seen it drawn for a while, have we? You have now moved up to second in my championship prediction league, 13 points behind. Wow, I'm 13 points behind Paul.
That's
so
impressive.
still need to get a little bit more. And the reclaimer says, "Pull to get man, you're at the toilet." Okay.
Remember Ham last time you got us in the cup? We eliminated you. Just remember that.
3-2. It was indeed. But that was a good game. It was a very, very good game as well. But
The one thing I would like is just for us to draw Liverpool in a way, just so we can get revenge on you for 2012. So
yeah, I did know that, Jessica. I did know that you were Josh's girlfriend. I was just.
I didn't.
Just.
That's all right. No offense. I didn't.
Mad Max, innit? Yeah, Mad Max, innit? Shrewsbury knocked Carlisle out. I'll be fuming if Shrewsbury get a Premier League team at home. Yeah, Carlisle, I thought you had that in the bag there, sadly. Everton are in dire straits, though, so it would be a bit easy. I think even Arsenal will win tonight, and that's how bad Everton actually are. So we've got David Seaman doing the draw. And I can't, for the life of me, work out who the other person is.
Faye
someone
White.
Faye White. Very white.
At least there's one good thing about this draw that David Seaman's doing. He doesn't have to jump for this one. So sorry, England fans, but I had to.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'll never let them forget that.
No, definitely not. And Chris Welsh has said Manchester City versus Asda staff members. I could
And then get
possibly-
a Tesco meal deal for lunch afterwards.
Jessica, you annoying Douglas. No, she's not. You have to wear a face mask outside.
Only on stupid public transport, but I'm walking home now anyway, so.
Yeah. And I see Reese has changed his name to Ralph Disciple. I've just noticed that there.
I'm a Ralph disciple. I've been for a long time.
Yeah. Just very, very quickly, can you see Jesse Marsh being added to the Man United backroom staff?
Oh yeah, I see it happening, mate. 100%. I think he'll be the I think he'll be the assistant manager, to be honest.
Mm.
Well, actually, I'll go one further. I think he'll be assistant manager if Buvac decides to just come in as a coach.
Mm.
I hope Buvac actually gets the job. Not that he used to work for Liverpool, but it's just that he actually fits the system and the Premier League experience. I think he would be a good sign. But Marsh is familiar, so I'd bring him in as well.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, when this draw is happening, obviously make sure that your like TVs and stuff are like down to the lowest volume, if possible. But obviously, here we go. Here we come the draw. I think they're just saying selected balls. Yeovil Town. Forgot about Yeovil Town actually. Kidderminster Harriers 59. Chesterfield, obviously.
I'd rate that.
Evening, Mr. Bell.
I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in very big trouble about my football club. So, hello.
Oh, geez.
Tommy Tuchel fucked it up. Tommy Tuchel fucked it up. He saw his idol. He got himself.
Yeah, I can still watch the draw. Well, Liverpool will be my second team, so that's a joy supporting two teams. Yeah, absolutely. Reese has been crazy since Ralph appointed him, more crazy than normal Reese. Yeah. And BBC player is shite, but it's all I've got for now, says Kian. Yeah, the draw is just about to be made, folks. And apparently, I've just seen Yerry Mina returns for Everton against Arsenal. Arsenal have dropped Aubameyang to the bench.
Ooh.
That is actually very
About time too.
So who's playing up top then? Lacazette, Martinelli. Who's playing up top?
So it's Boreham Wood and St Albans versus AFC Wimbledon first drawn out.
Oh,
that's crap.
Well, I wanted both of those, so good start there.
Just give us Chelsea versus Liverpool so Josh can cry and then Doug can go.
To be fair, that's a good home tie for Boreham Wood.
That is a good tie for Boreham Wood, yeah.
Yeovil versus Bournemouth.
Ooh,
Yeovil Bournemouth.
Good tie.
I'm going Yeovil to win that game, lads.
That could be interesting, that one.
Oh,
I'm going Yeovil to win 1-0.
Ooh.
Stoke City versus Leyton Orient.
Ooh, good tie, Leyton Orient.
3-2 Stoke.
Jessica's asking, did you have toast again?
Maybe, yeah. That's okay. I think it's my Monday night fed toast.
Swansea City versus Southampton.
Come on, Southampton.
Bye,
Southampton
Swansea.
are gonna kill.
That is, that's
Cheerio.
Chelsea, Josh, Chelsea. It's Chelsea. I don't know if they can play.
Please not us again.
Chelsea versus Liverpool. Come on. Liverpool, come on.
It is Chesterfield. It's Chelsea at home against one of the worst sides. They've got another lucky draw.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, Liverpool, Doug.
That is rigged.
Doug, you've got a home match.
Home match.
Come on,
Again.
give them a hard time. Give them a hard time. Come on.
Oh, it's someone crap, I think. Shrewsbury.
It's cut.
Oh,
Shrewsbury.
Oh.
lucky.
Ooh, I will take that. I'll take
See-
that. Liverpool
good-
See when you
Shrewsbury.
said see when you said crap there, I thought you were going to say Cardiff. No
Oh,
offense,
Oh, it's
Chris
Cardiff,
Welsh.
Nathan. Nathan, it's Cardiff.
at home?
You're at home. You're at home.
Ah,
Against
Chris Welsh, you'll be absolutely gutted at the fact that basically
Preston
you'll be
North
absolutely
End.
oh, you
you'll be absolutely gutted at the fact that Liverpool it would have been Liverpool Carlisle.
Hey, a championship drawer. Jesus God.
Did you just say Cardiff versus Preston?
Yeah.
That's the 6th time in 6 years we got a championship club.
Coventry versus Derby.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
I'm-
That's an old championship tie as well.
No, let's
Wayne
be
Rooney's in
fair.
charge after
Let's be fair. Derby are not the champion. Are in the championship anymore. They're down, and they're long, but down.
That is an absolutely pathetic draw.
Well,
Burnley versus Huddersfield.
Huddersfield
Oh,
better
I'd
do me the
fancy
business.
I'd fancy Huddersfield for that one.
the game of two anti-football teams. Just the BBC put that on.
All we need is Man United Millwall. Come on.
West Brom versus Brighton.
Oh, that's a dead draw.
I'd say I
Yeah,
fancy Brighton for that. West Brom form has gone completely down the pan recently.
To be fair, Brighton haven't won a game since September. I think so. I'm going West Brom to win that comfortably. I'm going West Brom 2-0.
Kidderminster Harriers versus Reading.
That's a
Good tie
10-0
for
Reading.
Kidderminster.
Just kidding.
Good
I
tie.
was going to say
Good tie for
Kidderminster will win
Kidderminster.
10-0 for Banter.
Leicester
If
City
Reading don't
versus-
win this, if Reading
Leicester
don't win
City?
that comfortably, then there's something wrong.
They won't. They'll lose.
They probably will.
Watford. Leicester versus Watford.
Claudio Ranieri going back to the King Power for the
Newcastle.
second time in about 4 weeks.
Here's a question, lads, right before the next one comes out. Do you think Leicester actually lose this one? Because
If Brendan Rodgers is in charge, yes.
Mansfield
Well said,
versus
Josh.
Middlesbrough.
Mansfield Middlesbrough. Good tie. Good tie. I think Middlesbrough have actually done okay under Chris Wilder, haven't they? So far.
It's so fucking icy. Hell, you would love this weather.
The two pools are playing each other, so it's Hartlepool United versus Blackpool.
Ooh.
Hartlepool. Wow. Hello
I've
to
got no
Almighty
idea.
Blues. Hello to my Almighty Blues. Hope you're doing well. I did see you on Husam's stream recently as well.
So you just confirmed that Nathan's just tweeted what a terrible draw. He's still very pissed off about that.
Hull City versus Everton.
Come on, Hull City.
Ooh. Hull City Everton.
This is
Who's
Minus
going to win that?
minus 12 and
Giant-
snow here. You'd hate it. Reese says hella.
Oh, you know I would hate it. I don't mind cold weather, but I hate ice and I hate snow.
Bristol City versus Fulham.
Oh, that's a dead tie.
Fulham will
No
win
idea
that.
about that.
Bristol,
Yeah, Fulham
Bristol
will.
City are not doing too well.
Oh,
They're
Yeah.
allergic to winning at home as well.
Yeah, Chesterfield are in the non-league. Oh my god. If we don't beat them 6-0. Rant.
Tottenham Hotspur versus Morecambe. So Spurs are definitely winning that.
Yeah.
Spurs are winning that. Yeah, I think that's more. I think that's 4-5, maybe 6-0, maybe.
Millwall.
Maybe. Come on, United, please. Please.
It's not. It's Crystal
Fuck
Palace.
off.
It's Crystal Palace versus Millwall, but Millwall at home.
Ooh.
Versus Millwall versus
Millwall Crystal Palace. That's quite
That'll be
a good
entertaining.
draw. That one.
Sorry, Doug, I know you don't like bad language, but that's disgusting. I wanted Millwall for the banter.
I know.
If we get Man City, then
Yeah,
I
they're
swear
still
to
in
God,
it,
it
yeah.
sums this draw. It sums up this draw if we get Man City.
Port Vale versus Brentford.
Oh, that's
lot
a
of the
good
Premier
tie.
League
That
teams
one.
Still in it.
What other shit teams are left?
Arsenal.
Right, I hope we get Arsenal in.
Swindon Town versus
Please be Man United.
Man City. They've done it again. Another fucking easy
Swindon, Man
tie
City. Oh my
another
god!
easy tie for Man City.
Which means we're getting a difficult. Which means we're getting a difficult tie. Which means the FA are still up Pep Guardiola's arse.
Leeds United are still in this draw, aren't they?
They are,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Bielsa Ball versus the Gegenpress.
Diego, are you happy with Millwall?
Wigan versus Blackburn.
Oh, that's a tie and a half.
That's
How good
that's
have
a hard one.
how good have Blackburn been since they sold Armstrong? Because I've got no idea.
Very good.
Right, so I'm going Blackburn to win that game then.
Yeah, Ben Brereton Diaz has been superb this season.
Luton versus Harrogate. Funnily enough, and we are coming close. Obviously, there's hardly any balls left now, but
Yeah.
West Ham are still in it. The team I said we'd get.
Oh, you said you
We
got
either
one.
get-
Yeah.
That's
So
right, we either get West Ham or Leeds United. That's what we're getting.
Birmingham versus Plymouth Argyle.
Oh, Birmingham are out then.
Oh, good tie. Plymouth Argyle are doing well, actually. I watched their game against Rochdale
Thank
yesterday.
God, I'm
Reece
not-
Man United at home against someone.
Man United at home.
Against someone who hasn't picked it yet.
Come on, give me Leeds United.
Villa.
Yeah.
So that is, let's be honest, that is a difficult tie because Villa are now obviously under Gerrard. They're in the ascendancy. So, yet again, I think we've got the hardest tie out of any sort of big team.
We got Aston.
That's tie of the round for me so far.
Wait, we got Aston Villa.
Wolves versus Sheffield United.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's going to be a tough game.
That'll go to a replay.
Newcastle versus again we've got a difficult tie. That's unbelievable, that is. Everyone else is playing the fucking dog and duck and we've got Aston Villa. Newcastle versus Cambridge.
Newcastle Cambridge.
They'll lose that game somehow.
They'll find a way to lose it.
Yeah, Man United Aston Villa for me is a tie of the round so far. That is
Absolutely, I agree.
Barnsley versus Ipswich Town or Barrow.
Ooh. Did you fancy Ipswich against one of those teams?
Aston Villa, that's obviously playing the same, relatively speaking, the same colours as West Ham. So I was only slightly off with my Mystic.
Yeah,
team.
that's true.
Peterborough versus Bristol Rovers.
Ooh.
So the big teams that are left in it are Arsenal and Leeds. Really,
Not really a big team.
Forest as well.
West Ham versus
West Ham.
They'll get someone shit. Good tie. West Ham versus Leeds. So that's
West Ham versus Leeds.
yeah.
I fancy
Brilliant
West
tie.
Ham. Leeds United are not the same this season.
I'm going to
Queen's
put
Park
a bold
Rangers.
prediction. I'm going to put a bold prediction, lads. I'm going to put a very bold prediction. West Ham 4, Leeds 0.
QPR versus Rotherham.
QPR Rotherham.
Only left is Arsenal. I know. So Charlton versus Arsenal and Norwich and Nottingham Forest. One of the three.
Arsenal versus Charlton, probably.
No, it's not. It's Charlton versus Norwich, which means it's Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. It just hasn't been decided which is playing home, which is playing away.
Nottingham Forest
so it's
famously beat
Nottingham-
Arsenal.
Yeah,
the
Nottingham
City
Forest at
ground.
home against Arsenal, and that's it.
Oh! I have to say, I would fancy Nottingham Forest against Arsenal.
And me as well. I agree.
Just
Wow.
just with that Arsenal, just with that Everton lineup, just looking at my Twitter here, Rafa Benitez has confirmed that he has dropped Lucas Digne from the squad entirely after a massive fallout in training during the week. He's not even on the bench, and it's a non-injury.
He's been rubbish. He has been absolutely rubbish this season. So I think it's probably wise to do that. But yeah, guys, that was the FA Cup draw. Wow. Nathan, reaction to Cardiff against Preston.
Well, it's happened probably for the 6th, 7th, maybe 8th year in a row. I'm not happy. I'll just leave it there.
Josh, if Chelsea don't win this 4-5 or 6-0, I'll be very, very disappointed. Chelsea against Chesterfield at the Bridge.
Well, we're going to say play Petr Cech in goal. Anybody who does not score in that game should be fined and sold. And we should literally give tickets for free to try and get people to go to the game. But I think Chelsea will look forward to it. But we're going to anybody if Ferner somehow doesn't score in this game, just terminate his contract there and then.
The tie of the round, Mr. George Kyle, Manchester United against Aston Villa.
I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, again, I mean, there's so many terrible teams we could have got. You know, I think arguably, obviously, West Ham Leeds is the other one, but I think other than that, those the two ties, aren't they, of the round as sort of those two, where obviously West Ham Leeds and United Villa, because again, obviously Liverpool, Chelsea, and City have all got the dog and duck. Whereas we've got someone actually who's very hard. Yet again, it's just it's that's life, unfortunately.
I'm glad we've got
the FA Cup's rigged.
I'm glad we've got Shrewsbury at home this time though, because I remember the game at for God's sake, I can't remember the name of their ground, but I remember the game against them, and they actually played really, really well that day. Probably should have won as well, and obviously we took them back and obviously won 1-0 thanks to a very, very interesting own goal from an ex-Man United player, in fact, Roshan Williams, if everyone knew that as well. But we will continue with what we are here for, and it is the podcast. So enough of obviously the FA Cup draw, but the big story of the weekend: West Ham 3, Chelsea 2. West Ham done Chelsea, and I have to say Josh has done a runner. I mean, Josh, what was your thoughts?
Why did I come here tonight? Yeah, it's kind of like it's like me going to the bakery. Right? I go to the bakery, I'm feeling all well and good. I started the day really well with the bread proven, and then I basically take the bread out off the prover and throw it out the window. That's basically what Chelsea did. We were very dominant. We were dominant. We were creating good chances. I thought we got the early goal. And then we decided to just completely forget the basics of football. Jorginho deciding that he forgot how to pass the ball back to the goalkeeper properly. Then Mendy just loses his feet in and gives away a stupid penalty. And then that third goal, the winner, I don't know what Mendy was doing. Mendy was he was off his line. His position was completely off. His reactions were slow. And it was just, Chelsea just fell apart in the last 25, 30 minutes. Lukaku, George, I didn't realise you were playing up front for Chelsea. It was just a shambles. Like the second half was not great. Kai Havertz was a big miss. Lukaku was literally non-existent. I don't actually remember him touching the ball. And between the midfield was awful. Marcus Alonso, man, this man. The quicker we get rid of him out of this football club, buddy, but I despise, man. He's slow. He can't defend. He can't run. He can't pass. He can't cross. He can't do anything. He's such a burden. Like, all the teams are attacking down that left-hand side, and we're missing Kovacic, we're missing Kante, the midfield's not the same, and the attack's just been chopping and changing week in, week out. It showed, if anybody who's seen the Watford game midweek, we somehow won that game. I don't know how we won it, but we somehow did, and that West Ham result, with those two performances combined, was what we deserve. Tuchel needs to kick people up the backside. He needs to somehow solve the left wing back solution, which there isn't very much he can do. We need Kovacic back in the midfield. We need attackers trying to score goals, and Mendy just needs to give him more confidence back himself. But we just threw the game away. We gifted West Ham two goals. It seemed as United, we shot ourselves in the foot, and it's been coming. It has been coming the last 3-4 games. We haven't been at our best, so. It's you run out of luck sometimes and you get what you deserve. But West Ham deserved the win, but we gifted them such basic goals, and it's just really annoying for how a team that was really good defensively now looks like a big liability just because Ben Chilwell found out injured.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan, I don't think we're ever going to see a more freakish winning goal as Arthur Masuaku's at the weekend. I mean, fair play for spotting, Mendy off his line, but the audacity to actually, I mean, it was freakish. It was a cross come shot, but my goodness me, it was just incredible winner for West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was 1 billion IQ at this point. Even though that Mendy, what was his positioning though? That is like some Sunday league when you're hungover and you're just waiting for the last whistle, just standing there thinking, "Oh, we have this one. Oh, a ball's just going over my head into the top bin."
To be fair, George knows that feeling very well, don't you, George?
But yeah, Chelsea just bottled it completely, and they should really have the 3 points in this one. But fair play to West Ham, and if they continue going on the run that they're going on now, I think that they are going to get into the Champions League.
I mean, it's no fluke. It's no fluke, George. That some of the teams that they have beaten this season, they've obviously beaten Chelsea. They've beaten West Ham. They've beaten Chelsea. They've beaten Liverpool. They've beaten United. We all thought West Ham would struggle this season, but you have to say that they're actually doing very, very well.
Very much so. I mean, I think Chelsea again. So many errors ultimately. The issue, I think, obviously Mendy was for once. I've been quite praising of Mendy at times, but I think he was really exposed a few times. Obviously, on the winning goal, he should definitely save that. He's decided to instead of sort of taking. I still maintain he could have taken a couple of steps to get towards that, and instead he sort of launches himself from a position where he's going to struggle to get there, and obviously then it ends up palming it into his own net. So that was totally atrocious goalkeeping. But not only that, obviously, I think the worst error even was obviously conceding that penalty. I've still got no idea what he was attempting to do in that situation. Just clear it. He was even facing a touchline where he could have just leathered it out for a throw into and obviously there's no opportunity, but then decides to get clever with it, and ends up obviously fouling and conceding a penalty, and ultimately Chelsea were the architects of their own downfall. Obviously Josh has sort of alluded to, I think they are missing a few key players, I think particularly in that midfield. But I think ultimately, again, obviously it's a great result for West Ham, and terrible for Chelsea, but still a long way to go, obviously, in the season. But Chelsea maybe not as. Again, I think Tuchel's obviously going to have a word with them, because again, it's not necessarily that other teams are breaking them down with good play. It's that the fact that they're making the mistakes, they're making terrible errors time and time again, and that's complacency. So Tuchel's going to have to work hard with them. And obviously, as Reece was saying, I think Tuchel's is all a quiver because now the real masters in the house in Ranić. So. Now he's starting to bottle things.
I want to say this as well because I think certain delusional fans need to hear this. Apparently Ronaldo's the problem. Yeah, you've got £100 million Timberland boots up front. Get it up, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't for Josh. By the way, Josh isn't delusional.
I know that you beat them 2-1. I was just meaning overall. West Ham have beaten some big teams this season, and
it was our B team, but still they did beat us quite
comfortably. And it's no fluke. It's no fluke either. West Ham are doing very well in the Europa League. Obviously, they are going to be, in the next round as well. We are obviously going to speak about the Champions League and the Europa League this evening as well. But it was a very, very good one for West Ham, and how far could they go this season, Reece? I mean, West Ham are doing very, very well. I think it's all going to be dependent on how they do in the Europa League, but could they maybe get crashed at the top four?
I'll be honest, I don't think so. I think they will slip at the final hurdle, but I do think they're going to finish fifth comfortably. I think they'll finish fifth. I think they actually will win the League Cup. I think they will. I think they will walk away with some form of silverware, but it just depends on who they get in the League Cup draws. But I think the way they're playing, there's no fear. There's no fear in West Ham. They're a good side, and I think they could win the League Cup. They won't win the Europa League. They won't, but I think they'll get quarterfinals. depending on their draw as
Yeah.
well. But it's about managing their squad. I think they really need to invest in January if they want to do anything, because a couple of injuries and that's their season. They really need to get a couple of signs in. But I don't see them getting fourth. I think it's a season too soon. I think the squad's still got to mature a bit, but I definitely think they'll finish fifth. They're not finishing sixth. They're too good for that. I'm going comfortable. West Ham fifth.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan, I think West Ham are definitely needing reinforcements in the January window. They've had another few injuries. Cresswell got injured against Man City. Yeah. I think Young Johnson was forced off against Chelsea at the weekend as well. They badly need reinforcements, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to get them as well, because hopefully if they have a bit of a brain cell between them, Golden Sullivan will see this is a crucial moment for the club. They can actually push into those Champions League spots, and if they've got to do it for me. Just get it. Give David Moyes a little bit of a budget to get some of those funds going, and he should recruit well, hopefully.
Lukaku should have stayed with Vince, to be honest. The Serie A helped in hiding his limitations.
Spot on, Taran. Yeah. Spot on.
Absolutely. And Hella said Lukaku is a Premier League player, and we beat the I know you beat the Hammers in the league.
You know what I will say as well is I look at players and I look at positions. All West Ham realistically need is a backup striker. I know the minute he's actually starting games and he's actually scoring goals, but you know who I think would actually be a decent player, even if it's a backup? I think West Ham could do with that Emmanuel Dennis. I think I look at the way Watford play. I know it's going to cost them a bit of money because it's January if they were to do it, but I just look at it and I think Mikel Antonio's their main number 9, so he's not really going to be the main man. But I think Dennis could actually force his way into that West Ham team. I think he could actually thrive there. I don't know about you guys, but I think it would be a good. They do need a backup number 9. I do think they maybe need a midfielder in case they lose Rice and Souček, although Souček's not having a great season, but he's still being effective. He's just not being great. And I do think they need maybe a centre back or full back option. I don't know about you guys, but from what I've seen of West Ham, they do need depth in those positions. But definitely striker for me. They need a backup.
Kurt Zuma was another one that was obviously forced off with an injury, and you'll be hoping that he's not going to be out for long, because I think he's pivotal for West Ham. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we moved from Chelsea and we moved to this man. I'm starting to lose words for him. The guy scores late winners after late goals after late goals after late goals. Divock Origi, 94th minute winner for Liverpool against Wolves. It was going to be 0-0, and all of a sudden, the big Divock Origi turns up with another winner. Nathan, I'm out of superlatives for Divock Origi, a player who is probably turning into a bit of a David Fairclough for Liverpool, a bit of a super sub.
Or absolutely, or even in Man United terms, a bit of an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but yeah, absolutely superb. Gets all. I know George is gone. Don't worry, you have as much hatred for the man as me. But yeah, honestly, you might as well just keep him now, because I have heard a lot of Liverpool fans saying that they do want him gone and it's about time that he does move on. But he's done it so many times for you guys now. And if you really do need that late goal, just pop him on. He'll score it. And honestly, if you didn't have him, then it would have been another draw for Liverpool. And to be honest, you really needed those 3 points to continue to keep yourselves in that title race, because with the 3 there at the moment, your Chelsea's, your Man City's, your Liverpool's, whoever slips up first, it's going to be a struggle to get back into the race, I think.
I mean, George, you obviously seen that result. How crucial a win could that be for Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, actually, I was watching it live, and I was obviously praying for. Unfortunately, my prayers weren't answered.
George has seen it.
I was just so angry with what happened in that final part, because I genuinely did think Liverpool were going to drop points. I think Wolves did have, albeit obviously not actually threatening, unfortunately, but I thought Wolves did have opportunities where they could have countered, but it's just a shame that the ball kept on going astray. And also, I think Adama Traore had a couple of runs, obviously, which drew a couple of yellow cards, but they didn't tend to use him often enough. Some of the passing was quite, which, is part of Liverpool's game. And I thought Thiago was excellent as well. Thiago Alcantara, who I've always been a big fan of. I thought he was really good in that midfield. And obviously, so like I said, Wolves didn't really create too much, but I did think that the defence had done really well. Obviously, and Aït-Nouri had a brilliant game, obviously, against Salah on that side. But unfortunately, the and what I have to bring up here as well is I think Liverpool were quite unlucky in some ways because they were playing with 10 men. Because Jota, who I have to be quite careful here because I know you've got a lot of fans, obviously Liverpool fans that watch the channel, and I don't want to be too damning about Jota, but I would just say that I've never rated him. I think he is a very a poor player in my book. Obviously missing a few sitters, and then none more so than when he was able to, have the entire goal to aim at, kept dribbling, and then smashed it straight down the centre. Literally, the thing about a lot of these sort of like miss of the seasons is that they have hard, like for example, Aubameyang missed quite an easy one a couple of weeks ago, a week ago or so, is that he didn't have much time to react, whereas Jota's got about 10 seconds while he's running with the ball to think about what he's going to do, and he still hits it straight down the middle. For me, that's going to be very difficult for me to not be miss of the season. That was absolutely atrocious, and obviously Origi shows the bit of quality I think that was lacking. And I've got a big give. I know obviously the commentators gave a lot of credit to both Salah and Origi, obviously for the assist and the goal, but I think it was all made by Virgil van Dijk with an exceptional diagonal ball. It really was. It was the pace and the loft and the direction of it was created that goal. So I think for me, he deserved the most credit in that goal because it was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. Yeah, I'm glad that kind of stopped obviously Jota's miss, but I mean Reece, Liverpool in 1920 had to drag these results, had to grind and get these results, and yet again they've managed to do it. Obviously, annoyingly for you, but how big a win could that be?
I like how you reiterate the words "annoying for you" because I wanted Liverpool to lose that game. It's literally just that, mate. It's key grinding. It's important. Like sometimes you're not going to win bright and easy. You're not going to dismantle teams. You have to grind out. I don't think he deserved the win. Personally, I don't think he deserved it. It should have been a draw.
I think Wolves deserved a draw. I'll go along and say that they did deserve a draw. I didn't think they really threatened us. I think there was one opportunity. I think Deon Donker. I think Donker had a shot which Alisson saved pretty much easily. But I think what changed in that game was when Aït-Nouri went off and Keanu Hoover came on, and I think. What should have happened is that Nelson Semedo should have went to left back to deal with Salah, and Keanu Hoover should have moved over to right back to obviously deal with Mane. But Nelson Semedo must be having nightmares over Divock Origi because he played in the Barcelona team that was spanked 4-0 at Anfield. He's just basically his face is an absolute picture when it comes when you actually zoom in on him. He's got his head in his hands and thinking, "Oh no, not you again." It was very, very funny. But Josh, obviously, I know Chelsea losing, you would have probably wanted Liverpool to obviously drop points. How did you feel when that Origi winner went in?
Well, I was at the Glenavon game at this time, and I kind of twisted my knee when Glenavon got a last minute winner, and then I looked at my phone and seen Liverpool score, and I was just like, we're in the mood. But this is what Liverpool do. Liverpool, at their best, they're unstoppable. They score goals for fun, even when you're not at your best. You've got so much talent, from back to front that you can just, for some reason, Divock Origi decides he just likes to be magical, come bench and do these things. And, I'm kind of jealous because, we bring Lukaku off the bench and he forgets how to touch a ball. So, it shows the two contrasts between the two teams. Champions scrape wins, champions find ways to win, champions somehow win football games that they shouldn't be winning. That's exactly what Liverpool did, and that's what Liverpool have been doing all year for most part of the season. So, and I think it's just one of those games where a bit of magic is what you need to win games. That's what you got. We got it against Watford. You got it against Wolves. That's football. But my God, why the hell did Wolves have to bloody bottle
it? Just to say hello, Alan C. Hope you're doing well. It's tomato soup and bread and butter for tea tonight. So very very nice. Yes, don't know how you missed that, Chaz. Hello to Ant. Yes, we'll be discussing Aston Villa Leicester very soon. Jota was too busy thinking of his birthday meal and cake. London is claret and blue. As a United fan, it's like choosing between a rock and a hard place. But this season, it's either Pool or City for the title, and I hate saying that. Very interesting, Tarun. Very, very interesting. But we will move from Liverpool to Manchester United keeping a clean sheet at home. Who would have thought that? Obviously, Reece, I don't think you've stopped smiling from obviously Ralph being appointed Manchester United manager. What were your thoughts on the performance?
Oh, Jesus, here we go.
What were your thoughts on the performance against Crystal Palace?
I think the best way to sum it up is it's like watching. It was like watching a lion chase its prey. Palace were there for the taking. We suffocated them, brutalized them, and defeated them. Put it this way, it was a proper team performance for a change. It wasn't individual brilliance. It was actually a team performance. It's also a learning curve as well, because obviously they're just getting used to this style of football. But the fact that they assimilate some aspects really quickly says all like pressures, forward passes, pass in particular was actually better. It was more acute, more direct. It was quicker. The only thing that we have to work on, obviously, is maintaining fitness and less touches. We were taking in times too many touches, but that's just because we're getting tired. But it was just an overall better performance. And the fact is, in the first half alone, we had 70% possession and we had 94% possession in Palace's own half. And now the other game, we would get beat comfortably. Not under the Godfather. Nah. Title charge, bitches. Title charge.
Well, we won't get too carried away. But George,
we won't win it, but I have to do it.
Fred, of all players, scoring the winner, and to be fair, it's an absolute screamer.
I can't wait to hear this bit.
I think I was incredibly shocked. Obviously, it's off ostensibly his weaker foot as well, which made it all the better. Really, I had assumed because of the way that it sort of curved in. I thought it had taken a deflection, but obviously it went straight in. So full credit to Fred for that goal. I think obviously again you obviously for you, Doug and Josh, you're in sort of quite privileged positions, having watching your team sort of perform excellently almost week in, week out. But it really was like night and day compared to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know it's obviously early days again with Ralph, but it was just that the energy, the passion, the determination, the cohesion as well. Obviously, Ralph always goes on about control as well, and I think that's what we had for the majority of that match. What I liked about it was that, and I know obviously again this is a Ralph, tactic or it's a sort of in order to manage the game, you try and keep the opponent penned back, and obviously that's that. And I think that obviously when we needed to, we just went long. There were quite a lot of long balls that were sort of into channels and things, and ultimately. And again, you sort of saw that from kickoff again as well, just the idea of just pumping it long into the opponent's half, because it's not about necessarily retaining possession. It's about where the possession is. And it's about obviously being quite close to the opposition goal. So it doesn't even matter the fact just horsing it mindlessly up. It's not mindlessly because obviously it's a tactic, but it doesn't matter as long as the ball's close to the opposition. And I think Palace were absolutely shell shocked, as you may have seen prior to the match. there was a sort of statistic that was going around that Palace obviously have beaten us the last 2 times they've come to Old Trafford under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So they were probably expecting another win with Man United looking poor and so forth. But I think they really were
that as well.
Yeah, I think they really were shocked at the level of energy that we displayed, because we were just totally rejuvenated. Again, obviously Reece has alluded to it, the fact that we were getting tired, because obviously Ralph did pick the same 11 that had played so well against Arsenal. And I think the only other thing that I would say is that just on that as well, I thought for me, I really, I thought Victor Lindelof in particular was absolutely superb. I loved the fact that he kept on coming out and helping out the press. But what I would say, obviously, about Fred and McTominay, not so much Fred, because obviously the good thing about Fred is that he is very quick across the ground, and that's very advantageous when you're playing the Ralph Rangnick way in terms of pressing.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that their passing game is still leaves a lot to be desired. There were still times where the ball could have gone. Obviously, Reece again has alluded to it again. The ball could have gone much quicker, and they just kept on dragging it. Both of them were guilty of this. They kept on because they're not necessarily ball players. And there was a moment as well, I remember in the first half, where Ronaldo was particularly exasperated because he'd sort of got free on the right, and Fred could have played the ball forward. That's just one moment. Both of them, it's both Fred and McTominay, were guilty of it. And not only that, but the other thing I would say is that because in that sort of formation and tactics, it's exceptionally important that you have 2 players who are good on the ball, because there were also opportunities that Palace had where there was one which I remember in particular, where McTominay decided to do a sideways pass to Fred that wasn't on, and it got intercepted, and Palace almost got in. So that's why it's important that those 2 players, you do have a ball player. So for me, regardless of how well Fred played, and he did play well, and McTominay did to a large degree as well, I still think we need better in there. I think that's where we still need better players, better ball players in there, because against better teams other than Palace, they're going to capitalise. But I think overall,
or even if you have a ball winner, sorry to cut in there, mate. Even if you have a ball winner, you can still have a ball winner that's actually competent at passing the ball.
Yeah.
So I think the key highlight is the fact he's highlighted Haidara as a sign he wants to make in January. That makes perfect sense, because not only is he a ball winner, but he's also a very good box to box as well. Like going forward, he's actually good at attacking. He's also good at picking a short, direct pass, or even he has to punt it necessarily. I thought a good example of punting along was Lindelof. It was probably the best pass of the whole game. But mention that's Victor Lindelof. I'm not surprised, but that's what we do need. Like, that's what we do need. So I completely agree
Nathan,
with George.
The performance of Diogo Dalot is actually going under the radar. I thought he kept Wilfried Zaha pretty quiet.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Zaha, as Reece alludes to a lot, is slightly overrated and doesn't turn up in these games. But yeah, I've got to be honest. Yeah, Dalot did have a good performance. It's just whether he can keep this consistent. But yeah, it's just the same about Southampton, really. And if it was any other player on the pitch, would have it maybe been the same? But looking back, when was the last time that Zaha has actually turned up in a game against Man United? That's what I'm trying to work out at the moment.
Can't remember.
I can't remember either, to be honest with you. But
I'll give them props. So I'll give Palace a few props though. Like, because obviously I was on Rich's review stream last night, and before I even spoke about Man United's performance, I was open and honest, and I said I give Palace props. Palace were resilient. They had a few chances they should have scored. Ayew is literally channeling his inner Romelu Lukaku. Heavy footing, poor touch, can't finish for shit. Like, it just sums up, and obviously
wide across the goal, wasn't it? Yeah, he should have scored.
It was awful, but they should have scored that. They had a few decent chances, but overall, I thought Palace are a good side, and I think they've proven a lot of people wrong. I admitted myself last night that they proved me wrong, and Vieira's proved me wrong as well. I give him mad respect, and I see them doing another few teams damage, but it's just the fact that they were resilient and they held in. But you just saw, like, after they missed that chance, that was it.
Yeah,
because not long after we scored, and it killed their momentum. It killed them.
Yeah. Andrew Williams says, Scott, far too many needless fouls and Palace players are in trouble. No good in possession actually doesn't make many ball-winning tackles. Yeah, absolutely. Right, we'll go to the rest of the Premier League roundup, including a win, finally, for Newcastle United, they have finally got that monkey off their back. It is their first win of the season, and it was against Burnley as well. Josh, I'll get you to do this game. Newcastle 1, Burnley 0. Callum Wilson written in the stars.
Yeah, it was a well-deserved victory. I thought Newcastle defended quite well. Anyhow, he's playing the same formation they did at Bournemouth, 4-4-2, high press, quick football. Kind of they matched Burnley up, and it kind of showed the difference between the two philosophies that these managers have. And it's the same system, but they couldn't be any different in terms of watching the eye. Burnley sat in deep. They never really created anything. I thought the Brack had quite a quiet day. Newcastle played Burnley off the park, and anyhow, he's got, this Newcastle team have some decent players in terms of, I think midfield is all right with Joe Willock and Jojo Shelby, Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson, Joe Linton could pick up a bit of form. So Newcastle have the right pieces, and a win and a clean sheet at home, and I say James's was rocking at the end, and it's exactly what they needed. And, when teams get these types of wins, it could kick them on. So I think anyhow, he's definitely found a recipe that could work. I think the squad's just a system. It is just, can they keep the consistency up on the defence? But it was a perfect performance. But if I was Burnley, you do start hitting the panic buttons about Burnley. They looked out of ideas. It didn't look like a traditional Burnley side. They didn't have a clue what to do when they went behind. They ran out of ideas, attacking wise, and it just makes you think that Sean Dyche, continue to have the answers. They've not been great this season. They picked up some decent points. Of course, they picked up a point at bloody Stamford Bridge somehow. But they had a full week. Obviously, they had a more day's rest compared to Newcastle. Obviously, they didn't play against Spurs, and they looked leggy. They looked out of ideas. They didn't look like they kind of knew what they were doing when they went behind. So, if you're Burnley, you're starting to get worried. But for Newcastle, I actually fancy Newcastle to. They'll stay up. They've got too much talent in that squad. If they play like that week in, week out, they'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, Hella says, disappointed with Burnley. They're better than that. It was Newcastle. I kept predicting Newcastle will win in prediction game, and the one time I predict they'll lose, they win. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've added a link there in as well, mate. It's actually interesting just how different the stats were, like Burnley versus Newcastle. Like, look at that.
Oh, wow.
I will try and zoom in, tell me that's good enough. Just let me know. So
that's fine.
There we go. So that's literally the stats directly from the game at the weekend. 19 shots to 10. Target-wise, it's ridiculous. But look, as you further get down as well, look at the difference in defence.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say they didn't deserve it. They definitely deserved that performance.
Yeah, they were a far better team. Far better team. But yeah, good run. Burnley will stay up. They usually start slowly. Corner honeymoon period over. They look in big trouble.
Absolutely.
I think they do.
I hope they get relegated.
Will this? Oh, someone has asked it. Will this be the year where Burnley finally go down? I'm going to say yes.
I'll disagree. As much as Burnley, Sean Dyche will keep them up. He'll find some solution. Chris Wood will score enough goals. Conway's a decent player. Ashley Barnes, Jay Rodriguez. They've got enough in that team. And there's definitely teams that are worse than them. Norwich will go down.
Yes.
Norwich are going to go down. Leeds are in a relegation fight. There's no doubt about that. They're in a relegation fight. So I think Burnley will stay up, but they'll probably finish one or two places outside the relegation, so like they did last year.
Interesting, Nathan.
I said at the start of the season, this is going to be the year they go down. I must be right at the moment. Touch wood.
So obviously, I put in the group chat as well. We'll just look when I was looking at the Premier League table out of interest because I kind of like looking at it now. We're starting to pick up some wins. What I would say is that I think any team that, for all the people who are watching as well, any team that are from 12th to 20th is not safe. I think any one of those teams could go down. That includes as well Josh's shock prediction of Brentford. I still think they're one of those teams that could be drawn into it because it is very, very close there.
You need a Brexit club in the Prem, so they'll stay up. Says Quagliarella.
We don't need a Tory club in the Premier League. We want all Tories gone.
Burnley will stay up. Newcastle will go down. There has been breaking news now. Obviously, Cardiff have just been drawn against Preston. However, club statement: Preston North End can confirm that Frankie McAvoy has left his position as head coach. Frankie stepped in earlier this year to assist us, initially in an interim role, before taking up the position of head coach. His first 8 games at the end of last season were a huge success, but this season we have struggled for consistency. Ultimately, it's a results-based business, and results to date have not met our expectations. We have therefore decided to make a change at this time. Wow. Just in time to play Cardiff as well. Just saw that, Chris. Unbelievable.
Nathan's like, we're like the FA Cup's rigged for easy draws, but Nathan's like, it's rigged because Preston sacked their manager.
I hope Newcastle go down. Just be funny seeing their wealth in the Championship. It might depend on the transfer window. Will any Burnley players jump ship? I am going to say this now.
Tarkowski, Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Tarkowski will leave. And I think McNeil might leave as well. Hello to Jordan Hyman, LFC. Hope you're doing well. Knowing they're playing Cardiff, free hit for them. Relegated Sheiks.
All right, here's a question. So if, funnily enough, the Newcastle owner was at the race yesterday, he looked well chuffed. If McNeil does leave Burnley, where does McNeil go? Because that's an interesting one. He's got a long future ahead of him. But where would he go? Because I don't see a lot of suitors.
To be honest.
Southampton. Interesting. It's a tough draw, Andrew, but you've beaten Southampton before. You have been Southampton before. Speaking of Southampton, George, another game, another Brighton draw. Southampton won, Brighton won. Talk to me about this game.
It wasn't. Reece is right. Actually, it wasn't necessarily that there were too many talking points, but it was just the talking points that I had were just so. I was so impassioned just watching this match, or rather, I should say rather the highlights of it, because it was just obviously Broja. That goal was just phenomenal. That was just,
goal.
It was he missed quite a few obviously up to that point of opportunities, but I really think with him he's got that sort of real killer instinct. He's really is very much a good goal scorer, and the goal was just all of there are lots of players even at Premier League level I think that would have shot initially when obviously the defender came across. There are lots of players that would have done that, and just the composure obviously with the Cruyff turn, and then not only that but the sumptuous finish with the outside of his right boot. That was just an incredible goal. And I was just again, I thought that was brilliant. And I think obviously again Livramento as well. It was obviously an absolute terror as well. And I think again that Southampton were very unlucky not to score more than they did. And there was they were. And once again, obviously, as you sort of said, Doug, as well, with Brighton being the draw specialists, they somehow managed to come out of it. And the second talking thing that I'd got sort of quite worked up about was the fact that, and it was because I can't remember who it was we were playing, Reece, where Ander Herrera went back, was going to go back and stand on the goal line for a free kick. It was and he then De Gea waved him away, and then the ball went in that exact corner.
I can't remember the game, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We were absolutely humiliated that day. It was one of the lower level tables teams as well, I think. I can't remember top of my head, but I know what you're talking about. Was it not? It wasn't Everton. I know who you're talking about though. Yeah. I know what game you're talking about.
The reason I bring that up is because exactly the same thing happened on that equaliser. But it was where James Ward-Prowse was decided at the very last minute as the free kick was about to happen. He decided to run all the way back and then try and stand on the goal. But then obviously what had happened was in that final part was that obviously Mopé was only kept on side because all the other Southampton players had run out and obviously kept him offside. But because Ward-Prowse had decided at the very last second to run back and cover that goal line, he was the one that kept him on side for him to score. And I was just the haunting flashbacks of what happened with Herrera and De Gea that time. And then it was just so unfortunate for Southampton. And I really feel like they should have won that match. And it's just a bit of luck really for Brighton. And obviously again it's that shithouse Mopé that's got the equaliser.
Yeah, I can also tell you, I was absolutely fuming like with that result. Everybody knows I like Southampton. I rate Southampton as a team. I rate Hasenhüttl.
How are Brighton still in the top half? Can someone let me know how are they still in the top half?
It's ridiculous.
I can't wait for Brighton to go back down to their usual position, 15th to relegation zone, because that's where they're going to finish again. Because here's a newsflash: Graham Potter is just an English Ollie. There you go. Like he is going to suffer, and I honestly don't care. Obviously, Ollie's a club legend. I don't give a shit about Graham Potter, but Potter actually sucks, man. Like as a manager, like Hipster FC are the luckiest team in the Premier League. They're so damn lucky. They don't even deserve to be in the top flight.
I agree.
They don't.
No.
And I just look at their team and I'm thinking, if they get something here, it's going to be right at the end. You can just tell it's going to be right at the end. They're going to get a bit of luck. Moping the 98th minute. I'm like, why is there so many minutes added on? Like there shouldn't be that long. Like it's ridiculous. Like there's so many games this weekend that had long
This is
intervals.
a good point, though. This is a good point. Manager Williams' Trossard injury is a big blow for them. Absolutely. He's been absolutely outstanding. I
hope he gets out of that crap club.
Same here.
Yeah, I do as well. Nathan, Watford 1, Man City 3. Bit of a Watford just better not turn up against Man City. You always know they're going to get beat.
Yeah, and well, it could have even been more, you could say. But I mean, at least they did get a goal, as many people say. Emmanuel Dennis absolutely superb for Watford yet again. But yeah, it's just going to be one of those things. Is it going to be that they bounce back straight away, Watford, or will they go back on another poor run and then Ranieri gets sacked, and who will they bring in next? Or I don't know. But the question is, at least they did have a try at Man City. Yes, they didn't get anywhere near beating them, but well, have they learned from it, and how will that set them up for winnable games down the line? And will they stay up? That is the question, because looking at them so far, sort that defence out, then they could be in a chance of staying up. They just got to get to January for me.
Yeah. Hella says you got a perfect score in that one. I think I said 4-0 City, actually. So, yeah, definitely. We'll move into the Sunday games. Quite an interesting game, actually, Josh. Leeds 2, Brentford 2. Paddy Bamford on the score sheet after a long time out injured.
Yeah, no, it was a big game, but I feel like this was a 2-point shot for Leeds. Leeds needed to win this game badly. Leeds are just not getting these. They're not getting these wins. They're not getting these consistent results. And defense again is a shambles. He tried to change the system. He didn't change the system as such. He just changed who played where. He tried to bring in a few players, and he tried to play Stuart Ross as a number 10. And it just didn't really work out. I thought Brentford probably deserved those 3 points, but at Allen Road, with the way Bielsa plays, some of the attacking down Leeds have, they always throw great chances, and Brentford defensively aren't really that good defensively. Brentford, they've just been really, really good at the other end of the pitch, and that's why they are where they are. If you're Leeds, you're worried because you just don't really see where the improvements are. Yes, you're scoring goals, but there's no point scoring all these goals if you're going to ship goals at the other end. And these are against all teams, that they've struggled against. There's not one team they've played this season who they've, easily bet. So something needs to, Bielsa needs to sort it out quickly. They're in a relegation scrap. They're going to continue to be one if they don't change their ways. But, I honestly, if Leeds come out of this Christmas period in the relegation zone, or at least 3 points within it, I think Bielsa has to be sacked, because Leeds cannot keep playing this way. It's too. I know it's high risk, high reward football, but sometimes the risk becomes too much as you can't take a risk. And if they are that close to the relegation soon come the new year, regardless of what Bielsa does, you have to get rid of him.
As me and Reece know, Bielsa doesn't get sacked; he walks away.
Yeah, he'll walk away. And I'm going to say this now: I like Bielsa, but I think the honest thing is Bielsa is failing at Leeds, and he's not just been failing this season. Bielsa's been failing since, I would say, maybe February last season, when things got really sour from February onwards. Up until from the start of the season last year up to about February, they were decent. Mid-February, that's when it went sour. Yeah. Since then, they've been absolute rubbish. They maybe had some good performances here and there, like the draw against us, the win against City, but they've not been consistent since. And Bielsa is failing miserably. They've not backed him properly. Yeah. But to be honest, I blame him as well, because he's not actually put pressure to get signings. The players he's brought in is going to lead him to relegation. Dan James. He's going to get them relegated. I said it all season. But I just look at them and I think Bielsa is a good manager, but he's failing massively. And his style all due respect, it's entertaining, and I will give him that. But so was David Wagner's style. His style at Huddersfield was entertaining. He ended up having to force to change his style in January to try and survive, and look at where it got him. Relegation and sacked. Bielsa will walk, but Bielsa is, in terms of where he's going with Leeds, finished. They're finished.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
He's going to be gone by the end of the season, 100%. But the question is from them, who do they get in from it? And it's a massive risk for him. And
David O'Leary.
Good shout from him, but... Good shout from him. I mean, he'll get relegated, which is good.
That name is going way back. He was sacked actually for guiding Leeds, I think, to top 4, if I remember rightly, in the 02-03 season. So
he got the Champions League semi-finals as well.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, but another game, George. Tottenham 3, Norwich 0.
Yes, I think obviously Norwich are again one of those teams that certainly in that relegation dogfight. But obviously, and Spurs under Conte are also a team that are going to be threatening. I think one of a few teams that are going to be threatening to try and get into that top 4. Obviously, that's good. That's what it got to be Conte's objective. But I think he's going to struggle, obviously, with someone that I made quite a bold prediction about, which is Harry Kane. He was finished. And so far so correct, because again, extremely wayward finishing. But obviously Spurs have still got other people they can call on. Exactly. one league goal for Kane, 2 for Fred. But extreme wayward finishing. But on that point, I think Spurs obviously got a couple of other people they can call on. Phenomenal goal by Mora. Some great trickery and an amazing finish. Really great placement and power on his shot. And also obviously with Spurs, they've still got my favourite player from there, which is Son, who also scored a great goal as well. So they still do have some firepower, but for me, I think Spurs will be somewhere in and around that sort of 5th to 8th position. I still think this might be bold already with Ralph, but I still fancy us to get to make up that top 4, as we all sort of thought at the start of the season that there was going to be the big 4 were going to still be the top 4, but. Yeah, but Conte's got obviously he has been quite outspoken about it. He's got quite a big project still. And obviously Spurs in their, what do they call that, Conference League? Is that what it's called? The trash that they're in. They've had a few terrible results in that as well against absolute minnows.
Spurs, though, isn't it?
Quite a coincidence that Lucas Moura would score not long after they get Murad 2-1, but that's quite a coincidence.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, one game I watched yesterday, which I thought was a very, very good watch, Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 1. Gerrard triumphs over Brendan Rodgers. I have to say, Nathan, I thought what Martin Tyler said yesterday was absolutely spot on. Basically, a corner, a free kick is like a goal against Leicester City. They just cannot defend set pieces.
Absolutely. And, well, Steven Gerrard set him up exactly for that. And if I'm honest, it could have even been more to Aston Villa. I thought they were once again superb against them. But, I mean, the funniest thing I've seen online is that this will be another moment where Steven Gerrard gets Brendan Rodgers sacked. And it's just... Yeah, Villa, they're really impressed me so far, even with some of the injuries they've got. Gerrard, he's come in, he's sorted it out, fixed the basic mistakes that Dean Smith has been making. And yeah, absolutely superb.
Yeah, that's their 10th goal that they've conceded off a set piece. Is really, really disappointing. Right, the contentious moment.
Yeah. What
did everyone make of the disallowed goal that Kasper Schmeichel has one hand on the ball? I thought the rules stated if you have 2 hands on the ball, then fair play is a foul. But if you have 1 hand on the ball, it's not a foul.
Yeah, it's been changed now. The rules, like the 2-hand rule, no longer exists. It's literally any form of control by the goalkeeper of their hand. So even if you have like 1 hand, palm control, even a couple of fingers, it's classed as goalkeepers actually had control. So inevitably it does lead to that. Kasper Schmeichel can cry, bitch and moan all he wants, and I respect him, but I completely agree it's a goal. Disallowed goal for me. Yeah, I think it's completely smart. He's already had the control of it, and he's actually played it in. It's nothing to do with that. The rules changed. End of the day, I know it's harsh, but end of the day, they've changed it around. It is the new rules. If this had been last season, it would have been different. I agree. I'm
gonna ask a very, very controversial question here. Is it time for Danny Ward? People,
yes.
Is it time for Danny Ward? Josh, what do you think?
Schmeichel has been Schmeichel this season. He struggled. He's making basic errors, and I think when you're a manager like Brendan Rodgers, who's under severe pressure, you need to change something. You need to just change. Even a little changes could make a big difference. And I don't see why Danny Ward, who probably actually hasn't played as much at this time as Leicester, hasn't even played in the cups. Like the goalkeepers normally do. I do think Danny Ward deserves a chance, and I think his performances at international level also gives him a bit of a push to why he should be starting, or at least not start, but at least should get a starting chance for Leicester and show what he can do.
Yeah, he's been given no chance, and he's such an underrated goalkeeper. And if you saw him how good he was in the Euros,
it was class.
It's just criminal how he hasn't been given the opportunity yet. And I mean, he's nearly 29 now, or something like that, and he's not even at 100% professional appearances. He's got to either leave the club or pray for a break. And I like Kasper Schmeichel, of course, because former Cardiff player and what he's done for Leicester and everything. But I don't know. I think it maybe is time for him to sort of take a back seat, see what Danny Ward does, and because he has been he's been playing pretty much every game for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years for them. So maybe. Time for him to have a little break, see what someone else can do.
I mean, George, the thing is, obviously Danny Ward being obviously on the Leicester bench. Kasper Schmeichel has, let's be honest, not been the best, but isn't it very concerning the form of Kagler Söyüncü? I thought he had a very good season last season, but this season he's been a shadow of the same player.
Well, it wasn't me. I was on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute.
Anyway, so what I was going to say was, just a quick few different things. So first of all, on the actual disallowed goal, I don't know if you guys saw it, but on Sky, that's sort of their big topic of conversation, during the day today. And what they've done is they've actually freeze framed that particular incident, because when Schmeichel goes to grab it, the rule is basically that you have to have one hand one hand against something, as well as, so it could have, obviously on this occasion, it was the one hand against the ball against the ground. So that showed that he had control. But obviously when you if you try it, obviously, again, don't do it too hard. But if you smash your hand against a football, obviously that's on the ground, it lifts up very slightly. And when the Villa player kicked the ball was off the ground. So technically it wasn't actually, so technically it should have been a goal. But obviously the rule is actually when it's the challenge. So he'd already started to move towards it when Schmeichel did have control of it. So initially when his hand touched the ball on there, his foot was already moving towards it. And obviously I think it was Dermot Gallagher, I think, that they had on there that was the referee that they were using. And he sort of said that it's all about that sort of challenge. And so it was disallowed, obviously, because, the actual first initial challenge was when he started to swing his foot at it. So it was correct. But ultimately, it's one of those freakish things, again, where even if it had been given the other way, they'd still have been arguing about it. There's still been people that said, it shouldn't have been a goal. So it's a really difficult situation either way. I think, again, on the sort of situation again, Schmeichel was poor again, obviously, not only on that, moment as well, but also on the winning goal. And then to bring it back to the question you just asked me about Söyüncü, he's a player, again, I feel like, who's a bit in the sort of Harry Maguire mould. And what I mean by that is a player that kind of gets overrated because he plays for a sort of like a club that everyone likes in Leicester. And then when he sort of moves to a bigger club, you sort of see his real actual level. And there was I think Söyüncü was again one of an example of that sort of player, where you have that. For me, his sort of physical attributes don't necessarily lend himself to sort of guile or skill or anything, or poise or anything like that. And I've seen quite a lot of the time that he's not, because of his obviously his build, should I say, that it's difficult for him to sort of adapt. And obviously on the winning goal, gets out, his sort of major strength is his height, and he gets out jumped by Konza. And obviously again, Schmeichel should do better again with it. Obviously should save it. But yeah, I think Söyüncü's, I think for me, I think he's always been overrated, a bit like Maguire was before he came to us, and a bit like Chilwell was, obviously, that made that whatever Leicester City are doing with their PR team to get about these players, to get to sell them on for massive amounts, is clearly working.
Yeah, definitely. Balaam has asked a very good question. Do you think it was a foul on Nick Pope for the Newcastle goal?
Ooh.
For me, no. I think Callum Wilson wins the ball cleanly.
Not for me.
Nathan?
Yeah, clearly Callum Wilson had it 1-0, but Newcastle.
Yeah, definitely. Josh?
Not for me, absolutely not.
Yeah, definitely not. Right, obviously, Everton Arsenal has obviously kicked off. I think the latest is 0-0, I think, at the moment. So, but we will move on to the Champions League match day 6. Big week this one, because obviously Dortmund and Barcelona are potentially going into the Europa League, and I have actually asked as well who wins Group G. But obviously we will start with Chelsea. Josh, obviously you haven't won Group H yet, but do you expect to win Group H away to Zenit?
I'll see. I'm one of these people who particularly doesn't really give an absolute fuck about top or second in the group. I think, to win the Champions League, you have to play whatever's in front of you. And, last season we had to play Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Porto, Manchester City, and stuff, So I don't really believe in this whole, finishing top. I would rather we go ahead and, just not risk any more injuries. If we've already got a few people, I would play Kappa, for example. I would play Hudson-Odoi. I would give Malanga Star a game. I would just play some players, give them a chance, keep confidence up, get match fitness up. Some Manchester United will obviously be in the same boat, against young boys. Unless Schwanbeck really wants to punish the players to make them press against young boys and kill their leg. But I think I would want to go to make changes. I do believe, though, and this is going to make some people ice balls, but from the sounds of it, Saul is going to be playing left wing back as an experiment and Senate. Obviously, he hasn't been too happy with Marcus Alonso, and Alonso is actually injured, so Saul might be playing. Saul might get a shot left wing back. Right wing back will probably be Reece James. I think Ross Barkley will probably start this game. I just don't think Tuchel's going to prioritise. I can't see Tuchel prioritising top of the group, to be perfectly honest. Tuchel has also never really believed in it due to his track history. So I'll watch the game. I'll hope the reserves play. Hope the best players play well, but I honestly can't care about this game.
Just very quickly before we move on, obviously about Zenit, I'm not sure if anyone, again, it will only take sort of 30 seconds of your day, but another sort of very small video that I saw
share that
was about Zenit St. Petersburg. I think at the weekend they brought in there were lots of dogs that were their mascots from the rescue centre. So they sort of brought them all on, and they were hoping to get them adopted as well. So that was just a bit of small news about Zenit, that they'd done that with some dogs. So I want Zenit to beat Chelsea for that reason, and as well as beating Chelsea.
I like that. Yeah, I do like that.
I just want to say something to your chat quickly, Doug. I remember seeing this thing on social media. This is just for anyone who's watching the Everton game, for anyone who didn't see. Apparently, Everton are meant to be doing this mass walkout on the 27th minute due to not winning a trophy for 27 years or something like that. I don't know if you've seen that, Doug.
I've seen that, yeah.
If anyone in chat or anyone watching the game can let us know if that actually happens, because I don't know well, but I'd be interested to see if...
You'd think Everton fans would be smart, because the last time they won a trophy was 26 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
To be fair, at least they're not in our position where we're 6 years off being 100 years without a major trophy. So you could say that's a little bit of snobbery. That
You might go 200, mate.
we might, yeah, you never know at this rate.
Yeah, it's still goalless at this moment in time between Everton and Arsenal. Reece,
Yes,
big night for AC Milan. They face Liverpool, who've obviously already won the group and qualified, and obviously Porto and Atletico are playing in the other match. Is that Atletico Madrid win too little, too late for Milan?
sadly, yeah. I will admit it was a good performance, but I think the highlight was after the game with the Salamanca. Excellent dribbling, although he could have been a lot better if he'd done it actually in the game. It would have been more entertaining. But I think it's more or less just pride. I actually still think Milan will beat Liverpool. I think the fact that they won at the weekend comfortably, they've also got Magnan back as well, fully fit. I think that'll give them confidence. I know he wasn't great in the first game against Liverpool, but I think there'll be the differences. That was then, this is now, and I think that'll go to benefit. And Liverpool necessarily don't really need to do anything. So I think Milan will just edge them, and it'll benefit them in the end because it's good experience to just go and take the title off Inter Milan.
Nathan, who goes through with Liverpool in Group B?
Ooh, difficult one.
Well, I can tell you it stands Liverpool 15, Porto 5, Milan 4, and Atletico Madrid 4. So basically, Atletico Madrid have to win.
Yeah,
I think if Milan win, they go through.
The goal difference as well. I feel like you have quite a bit of work to do, but then again, Porto, yes, they are second, but -5.
It's not goal difference, remember. It's
head to head.
That's true.
Head to head. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I think Atleti might just scrape a win here. So I'm probably going to go Atleti second. I think something weird's going to happen there. Unfortunately, Reece, Milan bottom, and then Porto second bottom.
To be fair, the way things are going, obviously I had Milan originally finish second, just because it'd be great for two proper European giants to go through. In European pedigree, you want to see through, but I don't disagree with you. But if Milan go through, it does benefit them. I think Milan going through actually benefits them because it gives the younger players more top level experience against higher level opposition, which will benefit them at the end of the season. But if they finish fourth, it's less games. Inter Milan, Napoli, nobody really cares about Juventus. They're finished. But the likes of Napoli and Inter Milan currently dogging it out to catch Milan in the league.
Yeah,
they're still in Europe, and Milan drop out. Milan only drop into a couple of games depending on when they play the Coppa Italia. So for the most of the time, it's going to be one game a week. I think we already know they'll benefit from that. So
yeah, George, you want to come in and say something?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Porto.
Yeah, I do
think
as well.
they've got obviously the home match against Atletico, and they know they've just got to win it. I remember obviously it was very difficult when we were originally predicting this group specifically because, and I think obviously I said at the time as well because I think a lot of us had Porto maybe finishing last, is that Porto do have that sort of, I think including me as well. So I'm going to be wrong as well, but I think Porto already had that pedigree. Obviously they did well last season as well. So it was really sort of close between all those three teams, with Liverpool obviously definitely going to go through top. So yeah, I think at this juncture I think Porto will go through second.
Yeah, I do as well. I honestly do as well. Sorry, Reece, I just have a feeling that Porto are going to do the job against Atletico. And
here's an interesting one. Do you think this is the game where Ajax finally get beat?
No. I think they're going to get 18 points.
If they do, though, then great for them. Obviously, I want that. They're one of the teams that had to get 18 or like the whole group. I'm just looking at the way that Sporting, like I watched the Sporting game against Benfica, and the way they turned up in that game. They didn't just beat Benfica; they battered them. It shouldn't have It should be more than 3-1. But Ajax are a good side, though. Like, I'm not taking that away from them.
And obviously, Borussia Dortmund are now in the Europa League, which is absolutely amazing. Nathan, do you think they're one of the favourites to win the Europa League now?
I'd 100% say so, unless there's a certain FC Barcelona who somehow end up dropping in there, even though I think they could even lose to them. But yeah, Dortmund, with you're like, well, if Haaland's back, you'll have Jude Bellingham's really strong squad, that Dortmund team, and I think they'll 100% win it if they go in the Europa League.
Got Leipzig as well.
Definitely. I think Leipzig are going to go through into the Europa League. I don't see Club Brugge going to PSG and getting anything, and I can't see Leipzig. Well, to be fair, I can't see Leipzig getting anything off City, but they have just obviously got rid of Jesse Marsch. Obviously, I haven't really spoken to you about Jesse Marsch. Reese, what's your reaction to him getting sacked?
I'll be honest with you. I thought Leipzig would hold it a bit longer, but I just look in. I think results have not been great, and I think if you really want to improve in that league position, you really need to do now, because they are in terms of league position, it's horrible. It's definitely not. They'll be lucky if they even get top 4. But I
agree with the Hela. I think Milan's not prioritising Champions League, all about the Scudetto. I would absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think Milan will win the league. I think Milan will go and win the Scudetto. This is the perfect opportunity. It's a good squad. It's been managed well by Pioli. He's rotating strongly. He's turned Bakayoko into a player that other teams couldn't. Just saying. But it's given them good confidence. But in terms of Leipzig, they're falling way behind, and it just comes down to how they progress. I think Marsch is going to come to United anyway. I think he's going to be one of our assistant coaches. I just see it coming. But the question is, who do Leipzig get? I don't think it's going to be Jasso, because he's going to win the league with Salzburg, so it won't be him.
Yeah.
But whoever they get will be intriguing. But we already know what style of manager is going to be. But they don't have a sporting director either. They don't have any. They don't have any structure which they're renowned for. That doesn't help. There's no structure now. He's lost his job, and he's made a lot of changes he shouldn't have done. Particularly try to change his style. He constantly changed his formation. It wasn't set. He was trying to play a Barcelona style, not the high press, which is anti-Leipzig. They don't play tiki-taka football, and it cost him his job.
Josh, Sportcat 1, a big Chelsea fan, has just said, heard Zenit game will be under a roof because of freezing temperatures in Russia.
Where do you think that? Well, English players are used to, people who play in England obviously used to incredibly cold temperatures. We live in a country that's generally as freezing as bloody anything. So I actually forgot to say I had a closure, so that'd be quite cool. Maybe one of Rudiger's shots may actually go into the top corner with the lack of wind or something like that. So maybe that'd be nice. So again, I'll say generally I'll have more excitement going to sleep tonight than I will have watching that game on Wednesday night.
Tuchel Ball's hopes of good football is going to be frozen like the dinosaurs. Their hopes went up in smoke after the asteroids.
Just shut up, Reese. Shut up.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Apparently,
Apparently,
Arsenal fans are singing "Feed the Scousers" at Goodison Park.
They're also fuming at Tierney's performance.
Very interesting. Group D, Nathan. Obviously, Real Madrid and Inter Milan are both through, but who do you think's winning that group?
I think Real Madrid have just about got it. They'll scrape it, but fair play to Sheriff, finishing in that first spot as well. Going into Europa League, it'll be interesting to see how far they do it. But Shakhtar, what's happened to them? Honestly, really poor performance this year.
George, are Benfica about to push Barcelona into the Europa League?
Yep. I think ultimately it would be a massive shock if that didn't happen. Obviously, the Barcelona having to travel to, the Champions League winners elect in Bayern Munich, in red hot form, obviously, with the person who should have won the Ballon d'Or spearheading the attack. And so I think Bayern will get, and obviously Barcelona know they need to win. Because of the head-to-head, and then obviously if Benfica, even if they drew and then Benfica win, they know they're going to go out. So, I think unfortunately for Barcelona, they're off into the Europa League.
Definitely.
Xavi's Blaugrana versus Gio's Mighty Blue Bears.
Apparently, it's 1-0 to Boreham Wood in the other FA Cup tie as well. 23rd minute that they scored as well. Reese, Benfica, they're going to go through?
I had them to go through at the start of the prediction stream. I had Benfica finish second. I'm sticking by it, but It really does depend. That's a good point. It really does depend on how Benfica's last game as well, because even if Barcelona can afford, even if Barcelona lose to Bayern Munich, they can still go through if Benfica get beat. So if anything, I think it's really about game management here. If they really want to win, if they want to progress, they've got to get the game done in the first half an hour. In my opinion, they need to score early and just seal it. Get a couple of goals and just seal it, because that's where it's going to go wrong for Benfica. In recent games, they've been leaking goals left, right, and centre. They've not been strong as they normally are in defence. So
Yeah.
I just look at Benfica and I'm thinking, if they want to progress, they've got to kill the game early. Otherwise, sayonara, and Pedro gets another run out. The absolute fraud.
Yeah, obviously. Group F, Manchester United's group. Obviously, you have won the group as well. But Atalanta, Villarreal, George, do you think Villarreal are going to go into the Europa League?
I think Villarreal will go through.
No.
I think obviously they know that they only need the draw, and I think we're going to see an Emery parked bus, and I think Villarreal will go through in second place, obviously, because we've already tied up top spot, which is quite nice to be in a situation where we've not actually got anything riding on a match.
Can I put an interesting stat in about Villarreal? I just want to plug this in. Villarreal are 8 games without a win in La Liga and only scoring 3 goals. Their form is quite atrocious at the moment in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus,
and Atalanta's and this is Atalanta's recent games: 3-2 win against Napoli in their last game, 4-0 against Venezia, 1-0 win against Juventus, 3-3 draw at Young Boys, 5-2 win against Spezia, and a 2-1 win over Cagliari away.
Goodness me, has Allegri been sacked yet?
Nope. Their recent games are 1-0 defeat to Sevilla, 8-0 win over Victoria CF in the cup game, but that's shite. Losing 3-1 to Barcelona, losing 2-0 to us because we're better than them. They drew 1-1 to Celta Vigo and they beat Getafe 1-0. That's their recent games. Atlanta are going to beat them 2-1. Atlanta are coming through with us.
It is now 8:27, so the 27th minute has happened. If anyone is watching the Everton Arsenal game, can anyone let me know if it actually happened or not?
I'm gonna switch on now
I'll put it
TV
on now
right
as well.
I'm gonna check. If this happens, I'm gonna laugh. I've got it low volume, so you won't hear anything.
Josh, I'm going to ask you a very, very hard question. Who is winning Group G and who is going through? Because all 4 of those could go through.
Why have you given me the impossible one? Why, dog? Right, okay. So Group G. That's this.
There are people standing up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm no one's left.
Yeah, they just stood up.
They just stood up.
I think they were
No,
trying to
there are
avoid
people
it.
leaving. There's people leaving.
Yep. No, hold on. I can see them now because the stewards are actually walking with them. I can show you on Now TV, but I don't know what would happen.
No, don't.
But
Yeah,
they're physically leaving the stand.
All right. Well,
You know what they should do? See the ones that are actually leaving. See, because they're walking out because over a trophy celebration that they haven't done in 26 years. Because it's not 27, it's 26. You nimrods. Just tell them, right? You can fuck off home. Like, don't come back.
Group G, yeah. The thing is, little top of the group, and I think there's stuff like 15th something in the French league, which you could the two positions in the 2 competitions could be any different. I like Salzburg a lot. I think Salzburg are going to go through. Salzburg are a good team in the Champions League. I think the other one will be Sevilla. I think Salzburg and Sevilla will go. Through. Obviously, they play each other. So how does that work? I don't even know. Doug, why, man? I'm not prepared for this.
Everton are down to 10 men. Ben
Yes.
Godfrey has just been sent off. Apparently, he has stepped on Tomiyasu's face.
He
So
has.
he's stabbed
I've
on
just
his
seen it.
face.
Yeah, I've just seen the challenge. It's horrific, and it's not even just it's literally like clamped on his face.
Okay, I made my conclusion.
What is he doing?
I've made my conclusion. Lille and Sofia will go free. Salzburg going into the Europa League. There we go.
I don't know why he's done. I mean, obviously it's incredibly light, but I don't know why he's got so much. He's got so much grass to aim at with his foot. And he just decides to stand on him.
And he's cut his face as well. He's cut Tomias's face.
Deserved red then.
I'm going to ask if there's any Everton fans watching. I have one question. What the fuck is Pickford wearing? Like, Jesus Christ, what is he wearing? But you can see Godfrey's reaction as I'm going to lip a man calling him walk away.
What? He's just an absolute fool.
And Yerry Mina's down as well.
It should be a red. It should be a red. How is he not getting sent off for that? He is literally what he has done. He is literally just stamped on the guy's face.
Also, can I just appreciate how many empty seats I can see right now, and fans are still leaving?
Yeah. Josh, sorry, I obviously spoke over you there, so I didn't mean that.
No, I just said Lille and Sofia, Salzburg into the Europa League for me.
Oh, I am actually going to go for Salzburg to go through on the first time ever through the group stage, and I'm actually going to go for Wolfsburg. I think Wolfsburg will beat Lille, and I think Salzburg will beat Sevilla.
This is why you've got knowledge, my friend. I can confirm. I can also confirm Yerry Mina's come off injured. Mason Holgate has replaced him at centre back.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's an Arsenal one guaranteed then.
It looks like, just judging by it, it's his ankle, but he was able to at least walk off. He was at least able to walk out, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. But he's just taken off as a precaution. But yeah, 11 men against this Arsenal team. They're a bit shaky at the minute in terms of playing the ball around. That was a shit pass by Saka.
Doug, when do you think Rafa Benitez is now going to get sacked then? At some point this season, do you think he's going to get sacked? Because they are in a big, massive shit state now. And obviously they are now very close as well to that relegation zone.
What? But Godfrey hasn't been sent off.
They're still checking on VAR.
They're still checking it?
Yeah. Really? Checking for dangerous play. Although it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
For me it's ridiculous.
Goals from corners. Arsenal have scored 5 from corners. They're actually the lowest team to score from corners. So Everton might concede here. No, they actually defended. I'm shocked. I'm gonna have this in the background. Just keep you up. I'll keep this in the background. Just keep you updated, lads. But at the moment, there's no changes. But I don't think VAR's actually given the decision. I think he's actually been kept on.
He's been kept on. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Nothing's wrong. Decision. Godfrey's actually gotten away with it.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
That is ridiculous. Nathan, who's going through Group G?
Lille, Wolfsburg. No, actually, ignore me. I don't know why I said that. Wolfsburg, Sevilla.
What's with the disrespect to Salzburg? Is it because they're owned by Red Bull?
Well,
I think Salzburg are going to go through. I think they're going to beat Sevilla. I think Sevilla had their chance and it's gone from them. George, who do you think's going through?
I can't wait.
Lille and Salzburg, who are the two that are already going through currently. I think both of them will go through.
Finally, some respect.
I mean, I've obviously gone for Wolfsburg because obviously I do the Bundesliga, so I'm hoping that, at least Wolfsburg go through with Bayern Munich.
True. I mean, it could be worse, mate. It could be Freiburg 6 in 30 minutes versus Mönchengladbach.
Oh, don't remind me.
I just had to. It's all right, mate. It could be worse. You could be Jude Bellingham calling it a referee over over a penalty decision, but that was gold. I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about their Klassiker, shall we? Quite an astonishing game.
Before we do talk about it, I'm going to say Adeyemi hat-trick, Salzburg to go through on a 3-0 win with Wolfsburg.
Woof. That would be lovely. Their Klassiker, Reese. What a game.
hands down, probably one of the best games I watched this weekend. Controversial moments, exciting play from Ralph Disciples. I thought, say this in the best way possible. I think in certain moments of the game, both teams had relative amount of control. I think I can hear someone in the background. I don't know what it is. I think it's me. Why am I echoing? Awkward. But in terms of the game, I just thought overall exciting, entertaining. I was close. I had a 3-3 draw in that game. Funnily enough, I was extremely close. It wasn't a penalty for me, even though it was given. It wasn't a penalty decision wise. But I think if you actually had to look at who did deserve the win, though, it was Bayern. Bayern had more clear opportunities than Dortmund, but Dortmund at least gave them a fight. I think Mats Hummels was arguably the worst player on the pitch. Like, proper, he was shit from start to finish. I thought, I'm going to go on a limb and say I thought the overall defensive structure of Bayern was actually shocking at times as well. That's normally more controlled, more relaxed. It wasn't. It was awful. But yeah, very entertaining game. Costly moments, controversial. Referee, you're a dick. But yeah, that was definitely not a penalty. George, stop sounding like a Dalek.
What does that sound? My God.
It's not me.
Thank you. Thank you, so.
What's going on?
It's definitely George. It's not me.
I don't think it is.
Who is it? God, my voice has gone completely.
I don't know.
Nathan, I
being on mute all the time.
Nathan, I think it's you because your mic sounds are like changing a lot. I think it's something to do with your connection because at first you were really quiet, now you're really loud. Then you were quiet, now you're really loud. So I think it's something to do with you.
Probably R2D2.
Yeah, I'm just playing on mic now. It's weird.
Well, to be fair to Bloober Legend and Nathan, R2D2 was the most vulgar character in Star Wars because everything he said we kept getting bleeped out.
Oh.
You just done a legend dirty. God, I can't believe that. Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just to quickly wrap up one thing about the Der Klassiker game that I actually thought was really key was the link up between Marco Reus and Haaland in contrast to the link up in contrast to the link up of Müller and Lewandowski. Playing the diamond 4-4-2, playing a 4-2-3-1, you're going to see a number 10 and a number 9 link up really well. And then you saw a number 9 playing with a number 10 as a second striker. I thought it was fantastic displays of contrast performance. I think the only thing that cost Dortmund was Hummels at centre-back. I think they really need to replace him. He is way on the downhill. This isn't the Hummels from 4 or 5 years ago. He's no longer at his best. Poor performances. That's back-to-back big games as well because he had howlers against Ajax as well in the Champions League. And now he's against Bayern where they really needed the advantage. And because Dortmund would have stayed ahead of it. Dortmund would have went a couple of points clear of Bayern if they had won that game, but instead they did a Dortmund, wasted opportunities, and now Bayern are just going to steamroll the league now.
Yeah, sadly they are. And another shocking joke, Star Wars joke. Where is the best place to shop for lightsabers? The Darth Maul. Oh.
Bluebird Legend. Why? That's no.
Before we go, does anyone have any questions for the panel? Obviously, it could be about anything really, anything.
You know how we thought Arsenal were going to have steamrolling it? Arsenal have had 3 attempts less than Everton. Both of them have had no shots on target, but Everton have had 4 attempts already to Arsenal's 1. Although Arteta looks like he's trying to work on the playboy look, and it's not working.
Kieran Dolan says, if there's any consolation, I'm currently steamrolling the Bundesliga with Dortmund on FM, lads.
You'd do a better job than Josh would, to be honest. Just ask Nathan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is very, very funny.
That's something we need to do. We need to discuss that as a group.
Oh, Reese, thoughts on Jar Jar Binks? Jar Jar Binks.
I will give you my thoughts on this one. Misa think he sucks, betcha. Worst character in the franchise. Worst character, and that includes BB-8. That includes the chick that I can't remember that was introduced in the prequel trilogy.
Wait. What?
They should have died.
Did you just see BB-8 is one of the worst characters in Star Wars?
Hands down, mate. Boring. What a
Me
rip-off to Archie.
Sorry, I will fall out with you for that one. Jesus Christ, I love BB-8.
Well, to be fair, when a stupid little droid pulls out a lighter and pretends to smoke itself, then it realistically should be a Star Wars character. But this is the worst Star Wars character, right? I'm going to do it nicely. I'm going to have to screen share.
Oh,
The worst character, purely
go.
because they just had no fit at all, right? And it made no sense to me.
I think I know where this might be going, but okay, just show us.
Yeah, I might get a lot of hate, but to be fair, when have I ever really cared?
Oh, Paul, dearie me.
I've just seen
What
it.
do Gungans keep things in Jar Jars?
There's only one character that I absolutely hate, so with all due respect, I don't care. And I'm just gonna zoom in. There we go. Let's screen share. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for this. I don't think anyone's going to I don't think anyone's going to disagree. Except, come on, piss off. See, there you go.
Awful
This
character.
This thing right here. What a horrible character. This is a better character.
Rose something, wasn't it?
I'm not quite sure what role she actually performed though. That was the thing. She was sort of introduced, but then never really sort of like fully realised, was she?
Kian Dolan. Jesus Christ. Apparently, Hut's favourite internet coding language is JavaScript. But yeah, this was the worst character because she had no role. Like, honest to God, like, I know Jar Jar sucked, but at least Jar Jar had a role. Jar Jar got Palpatine in power.
Yeah, Rose Tico can piss off apparently. Pretty pointless for the story. Yeah, absolutely. Are we actually all Star Wars fans on this panel? Like, I know that obviously Reese is, and
I love Star
George
Trek as well,
is,
but yeah.
Nathan is. Josh, are you a Star Wars fan? What? You hate it?
Kick him now. He doesn't belong here anymore.
Use the force on him.
I generally have zero interest in Star Wars. I've watched it, don't like it, I hate it. Absolutely zero interest. Know nothing about it. I want to know nothing about it.
Well, I can officially confirm what's about to happen right now.
Oh gosh, I wonder what this is. It's still 0-0 in the Everton. Still the 0-0 in Everton Arsenal apparently.
I'm just gonna hit that unfollow button.
Oh,
Nah, ouch! You're on Finland with me, mate. How dare you say that?
I'm just being honest, right?
Everton have just scored.
Have they?
Oh yeah.
Apparently, according to my
Oh, classic Arsenal fall apart.
I told you that. I did say before I got on the train that Everton would beat Arsenal. Even though I've got Arsenal winning for the predictions, I said Everton would still win.
Contradiction yourself there.
I have to. I didn't because obviously, manner of speaking, I have to jinx it.
Ella says she loves Star Wars.
Richarlison scored.
Richarlison, he loves scoring against Arsenal.
Let's get this full screen for Josh.
Sorry, Reese, I can't hear. Sorry, Reese, I can't hear you all the way down a sixth place. Sorry. Can't hear you all the way down 6th place. I'm sorry.
Top.
He won the European final last season, but you guys lost yours. Yeah. So.
Oh no!
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, saying that Richardson's offside, 0-0.
Oh, he's offside.
I'll say this, but Josh, how does it feel knowing that when West Ham beat Liverpool, David Moyes openly said that on that day they played so much better against Liverpool. When they beat you, it was literally just turn up.
Doesn't matter. We're still above in the league. That's my main point.
Tommy Tuchel fucked up. He saw his hero. He fucked up.
It was offside. Just I don't think there's goodness.
Yeah, I've just seen a replay. It's very marginal, but it's definitely offside.
All right, here's a question. Here's a question, lads. Worst Star Wars film that did not. Key question here. That did not involve a key character affecting the whole plot of the story.
Oh.
So you got 9 films to choose. 9 films.
I have to say, my least favourite Star Wars of all time is The Last Jedi. They completely fucked that up.
Yes.
Awful film.
Directed by Rian Johnson. I'm not surprised.
Not only that as well, can we just appreciate the absolute awfulness of what was that Princess Leia scene where she just survived?
That's her officially
so
using that's her officially cheating using the Force.
Yeah.
That's not normal. That's not you. That's a divine interception.
It was just the way she went as well, wasn't it? It was no. It was just no. I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
I wanted to get blown up in space. That would have been perfect.
Guys, it's been another fantastic podcast tonight. 7, 8, and 9 are absolutely septic films. Force Awakens is all right. Force Awakens is all right.
Yeah. I thought parts of Rise of Skywalker was quite good as well.
It's not.
Yeah.
The ending was good.
It's not a movie. It's not a movie. But if anybody ever needs something, because I've been watching it all day today, if anybody ever needs something to make them smile, Impractical Jokers. That's what I was watching today, and I bloody love that thing. So that made my day.
Mandalorian.
Well, it's been quite a podcast. We've had the FA Cup draw. We've spoken about Premier League. Spoken about Champions League, and now we end it speaking about Star Wars.
That Josh is a disgrace.
Arsenal just scored.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, Martin Odegaard scored.
Odegaard. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Just for the books, I hate Star Wars. I hate basically any of these famous movies that people think like. I hate Star Wars. I hate Marvel in general. There's nothing about Marvel I like in general. So even Toy Story, not for me. So if anybody has any questions, if anybody's wondering, it's not a personal agenda against Star Wars. I'm just not particularly into movies. Full stop. So
right, I can accept the Toy Story hate because I don't particularly like it. But you hate Marvel, you hate Star Wars. What's next? You hate women?
That's a whole different kettle of fish, lads.
Well, like we've all that's as officially established. Next week on the World of Football podcast, you will see the following: you will see your host Doug, you will see the Cardiff sensation, you will see the prisoner from Azkaban, you will see the most charismatic man on YouTube, and you will not see him. That's it. He is banned for a week.
Oh, that's ridiculous. How can you not like Toy Story, for God's sake? But Josh, thank you very much again for coming on. I believe you've got a Zenit Chelsea preview coming tomorrow, which will be very interesting.
Yes, no, I've got four. To my recollection, I've got 4 videos this week. I've got Chelsea Senna preview, which is a preview, but I'm just going to basically make it funny because I don't really care about the games. It's more of a comical one than a preview. I've got my first NFL show coming out. I'll have the Chelsea and Leeds preview for the weekend, and then I'll have me and Reese's prediction on Thursday. So bit of a busy week. But I'm owning Reese's prediction so far because he's calling 3-2s in pretty much every other game. So it's not going very well for him.
Did you see you've got an NFL? You've got an NFL show coming out. Are you at least going to be? Are you at least as a host going to actually know what you're talking about and ask proper questions that doesn't bore people to death and log out after 30 seconds? You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about, yes, but I know the right questions to ask. Yes, I know my NFL very well.
Thank God,
Josh Hill, I do
YouTube.
not like Doctor Who, so you can stop that immediately.
What is this?
I like Doctor Who, so no.
Nathan, thank you very much for coming back on. What have you got planned this week?
It's quite all right. Thank you very much for having me on as usual, Doug. Saturday, not going to Birmingham City, unfortunately, because I'm going out in the night. So that'll be a live stream. And then next week, we're playing Derby next week at some point. That'll be interesting. Search my channel link in the description below.
Yeah, get well soon as well. Your voice is sounding very croaky.
It's gone, mate.
Yeah. George, thank you very much as always.
Yep, thank you very much for having me as always. And obviously a lot of franchises and series that Josh has just just criticised there that I really love. So just out of curiosity, Josh, what is your favourite film?
If I actually say this favorite film on live stream, I'm going to get so many funny looks, and people are going to really start questioning my lifestyle, thinking, "What the hell I actually am?" My pronunciation of it isn't very good, but I think you call it Les Morts. I can't say it's like Les Morts, but it's like
Les Miserables.
That's the one. I say my pronunciation's awful of it, but that's the one, Nathan. Yeah.
I will let you off purely because it's my mum's favourite theatre show, which she actually went to see the other day, so I will let you off. I thought you were going to say something like your favourite film is Princess Bride, and then I really would question you. Which makes sense.
Reese, thank you very much. As always, what have you got coming up this week?
Schooling this punk on predictions. I will school him this week, I can guarantee that for a fact. I have...
Yep, Paul, salted caramel ice cream. Love it.
Good choice. Funnily enough, I'm actually taking a week off, like work as well. Sort of. I've got another episode of the weekly Steel Chair podcast that I'm doing on the Weekly Armchair on Thursday with a new guest, which is going to be great. Running with that. We're actually migrating with another channel as well. That's going to be announced shortly. We're just part of our United podcast is going to be merging with All for United, so we're going to be together as a collaboration. But that's going to get announced properly. What else? I'm back on Twitch this week. I've not been on it for quite a while, and I've been put off because burnout. But I am back on Twitch this week, so that's going to be a blast. And other than that, I'm not sure really because I've not been on a lot of shows lately. But I'm, in terms of channels wise, I'm going to try and get back in properly, get back into it because it's been a while since I've had good conversation. So including you guys elsewhere, Rich and all that. But it's just a matter of involvement. Yeah, I'm back on it fully.
Yeah, definitely. What's coming from me? Well, Premier League predictions will be out tomorrow. I will be doing that tomorrow. So that'll be out tomorrow. Wednesday, we'll have the Bundesliga out as well. I'm hoping to do a match preview as well with Josh from A View with the Stands. So hoping to do that as well. Thursday, I'm going to actually do a mock draw for the Champions League. So we'll see how right I am for that. So that'll be very interesting as well. Friday, all do it. Yeah. Just film what you're actually doing, and obviously send it in to me. That would actually make quite a good wee video. Friday got the obviously Friday LFC focus podcast, and then obviously Saturday, nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday, I will be probably live with the Champions League draw. I believe that's 11 o'clock on Monday. I thought it was Friday for some reason, but it's obviously not as well. But guys, enjoy your week. I'm pretty sure it is going to be a very, very good week. And from the five of us at this moment in time, it is goodbye and good night. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.